it came out without me wanting it to, if you will. And so that was the beginning of me choosing others over myself. And so it wasn't until as an adult that I was able to recognize where that began. And so it just spilled over into my teenage years. It spilled over into my adult years, into my college years, into my adult years. And then one day.
Hey friends, this is Tiara Cersei with Kingdom in Culture, and I am so excited to have today's guest sharing her short story of authenticity, Miss LaTeisha Jackon Brown. Welcome, Tisha.
Hello. I'm glad to be here.
I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm so glad that you're able to share your short story of authenticity with us today. So thank you for being here, and thank you for sharing.
Okay. Well, I guess that's my cue. That means everything's on me. Whenever I'm given the opportunity, rare moments to share, I often ask the Lord, me? Really me? And when he gives me those moments, I don't take them for granted. And so my ears are just kind of open, trying to hear, because you have so many life stories that and things that you've experienced throughout life. It's imperative for me to know what is God saying for this moment, what moment in life that I've learned so much over the years. 43 years here now. What moment can I share? What story can I share? And for me, I think I would take it from the statement of, it's okay to choose me first. And when I say it's okay to choose me first, that's literally something that every day I'm having to tell myself that it's okay to choose me first. What does that look like? It doesn't look like me not loving other people, not preferring others over myself in moments that matter. But in my short story, I'll share that from a child, I've always loved people. And it's just who I am. It's in my DNA. It's just in me. So if you know anything about me, you know I love people, and I have a thing that I say, I love people right where they are. So I'm not trying to make you be perfect. I'm not trying to glamorize who you are and who you're not, because I'm not going to glamorize who I am and who I'm not. But I just love people right where they are. So that means in whatever state that you're in, that's just a gift that God has given me where I can love you. And so as a child, oftentimes I can say that I recognize that was taken advantage of. And so as a child, I was taken advantage of sexually by two of my close two family members that were close to me in my life. And those were moments where I chose them over choosing me. So I never shared my story until it came out without me wanting it to, if you will. And so that was the beginning of me choosing others over myself. And so it wasn't until as an adult that I was able to recognize where that began. And so it just spilled over into my teenage years. It spilled over into my adult years, into my college years, into my adult years. And then one day it came to me that it was okay to choose me first. As I can remember being in college and making decisions as to what I wanted to do for what major I wanted to major in. And as a result of being told that wasn't the major that I should choose, I changed my major in college. Now, I love public speaking. I dreamed of traveling the world and doing stories over seas and doing missions. That was my dream. That was something I desired to do, but it was something I chose not to walk into because others told me that I was needed and I was needed here. And as a result of that, again, I chose them over choosing me. I wanted to go back to school to further my education. And I wanted to do it before I got married. I wanted to do it before I had children. And to this day, my plan of going back, pursuing my education still did not manifest itself because I was told that I could not go back to school to pursue my education because I was needed and there would be no time for that.
Wow.
And so one day the Lord awakened me. Something awoke on the inside of me because, you know, you walk around in life and you're living for Jesus.
Right.
So you're thinking you're doing everything right.
Yeah.
And one day I just awoke and it was like, it's okay to choose you first. And so I didn't get it still. But the Lord is so mindful of us.
Yeah.
And when I say he's so mindful of us, he pushes us into opportunities where when we can't even see what we need, he gives us what we need.
Yeah.
And so the Lord graced me at 26 years old to meet the man that I call my husband on today.
Wow.
And I never knew, it wasn't until, and I'm trying not to get emotional, but it wasn't until today that you'll always hear me say that I know how the Lord loves me by how the way my husband loves me.
Yeah.
And I say that because he loves me so well.
Yeah,
and so I try not to tell people about it because I don't want you to be jealous. Well, my husband just loves me. You know what I'm saying? And so I know some people can handle it and some people can't.
Right.
So I care not to say what he does and how he treats me, because that's my gift from the Lord and I treasure it so much. And because I don't want it to be hated on, just to be honest with you. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, that's you know, some things you want to keep sacred, and that's my sacred gift.
Right.
And so what I realized, even as we were preparing to share with you all on today, that God gave me a gift in a man to show me, in a human here on earth, to show me how I deserve to be loved, how I deserve to be treated. And so the same love and the same way that I prefer others over myself, he goes to the mountain and back again to prefer me and my sons over himself. And so that's the love that our Father has for us. He'll give us what we need when we don't know that we need it. That's and beautiful. So at 26 years old, I met my husband, and my husband began to love on me in a way that at first I couldn't receive it because I don't deserve this. What is this? Right. You know what I mean? Had never been treated that kind of way because I come from a single parent household. Right. So I didn't know how that level of affection and love was supposed to look like, you know? And so in that being said, that was another moment when the Lord was showing me it's okay to choose you first, you know? And so he showed me what the body, what his love for me looked like. Yeah. And as a result of the Lord showing me what his love for me looked like through the example of my husband, it was over the years that it began to unfold, that I was able to say, you know what? I don't want to be taken advantage of today. Yeah. You know? And it's okay for me to say no. Right. It's okay for me to say I'm not going to do it. It's okay for me to say I'm tired. Right. It's okay for me to say, well, let's do this first in order for me to be able to choose what I needed over what everyone else around me needed. Right. And so oftentimes we think that's being spiritual. Oftentimes we think that's being a good parent or a good daughter or a good wife but sometimes in this body, you know, you have to choose you first. And it sounds, and so some may say that's not the godly way, because the Bible tells us to prefer others over ourselves. However, there is a limit to which you and you only can. Everyone has their limit. And for me, I often would let others take advantage of me. And I didn't see it until the Lord himself revealed it to me. And so I'm just thankful for that. It was, even though it was 30 something years, 38 years to be exact, of enduring things that didn't necessarily have to be endured. I carry the cross, and I thank him for every stripe that we endured. And I know now, I understand where the seed was planted, where it came from. And so I'm able to rejoice in the fact that we are victorious over all things. And so if I have learned anything, it is when the Lord teaches us something, when the Lord shows us something, it's our responsibility to learn from it and grow. And so as we learn from it and grow, we as some your parents would say, if you know better, do better. And so because we know better, we choose to do better in this season of our lives. So we love others, we prefer others, but we take a moment to say, it's okay to choose Teisha on today. And so that's what I say that I've learned, a learning experience, a transparent moment for me. And that's all.
That is so beautiful, Teisha. And I just, really it's so encouraging, because, we don't know sometimes when we're in the journey, in the road, what God is crafting and how he's molding us to be able to stand flat-footed at 43 and say, you know what, I know exactly what we need to do so that we can be 100%. And, it's really called guardrails, right? Any highway or road that you go down has to have guardrails. What happens when we don't have guardrails? We fall off the road. We fall down into the ditch. And so guardrails tells us on either side of the journey, hey, pull in, turn right, lean over. And it helps us to navigate those roads so that we can stay centered. And that's exactly what God does when he's gracious enough to do and help us to nurture that in us. And then, to your point, the gift of your husband is just so beautiful, because I do walk with you as my friend, and I know how special you all's marriage is, and just what an example it is to others. And so I'm just so glad that God is like, all I could see when you were saying that is just like literally how God will take beauty for ashes, turn ashes to beauty, and how he's able to turn those dead, burnt, dormant things and take it and give you so much life and such a reward, And so I'm so glad that you were able to share today.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
All right, KNC family, we can't wait to share more stories of authenticity with you. Stay tuned.